Hello and welcome to DC Podcast. In this episode, Vivek Agnihotri talks about his latest movie, The Vaccine War, Politics, and more. Stay tuned to hear the full conversation.
Vivek ji, you're the only filmmaker I can think of in India who will see an actor who's played the role of Dr. Manmohan Singh fit to be cast as Narendra Modi. What is this that you see in Anupam Kher that he can do anything? And what is the irony of this casting?
No, I don't know where this news comes from. Anupam is not playing Narendra Modi.
Okay, I thought he's the Prime Minister when the vaccine
No,
is
that is because people see this also goes to prove a point that people have preconceived notions about things. No, my film has nothing to do with anything. It's a pure science film, and it's only about the scientists. So it has nothing to do with. Of course, I mean, Mr. Modi is the Prime Minister of the country. It was under his leadership. Everything happened. Whatever happened. In that way, but it's like a war film which is on the battleground and you never leave the battleground in the film. It's like that, so there is no question of anyone else. Anupam is playing the role of cabinet secretary, but it's a pure science film and it's nothing to do with the Prime Minister's office.
We've seen global warming as being a very contentious political subject globally for last 25 odd years. With this film, I'm sure it's already started to happen. People will start seeing and making politics. Is there a clear political argument you're making besides saying Indian scientists can achieve anything?
See, I personally believe, and I also believe that anybody who does not believe in what I'm going to say now is naive. There is nothing in this world which is not political. Starting from a relationship between husband and wife or a mother and child, everything has politics in it. The moment you have to choose, there's politics involved in it. And democracy by DNA, by nature, forces you to choose, right? So today, both of us are sitting here like good friends and somebody says, now you choose between these two. We do with children also. Batao, papa अच्छे है कि मम्मी अच्छी है? कौन ज़्यादा प्यार करता है बेटा? Mama loves you more or daddy loves you more? And that is the moment that child becomes political. Okay, he knows who to appease and who to offend, who he can survive by offending and who he cannot survive by offending. So that's how this world is. So I believe everything is political. I would love to believe I am apolitical. To me, it doesn't matter what happens in politics, though I make socio-political films. It's like somebody who's making a love story doesn't mean he's in love all the times. If somebody is making a war movie doesn't mean he has to be a soldier himself. Okay, but politics is such a sensitive issue. If somebody makes a film on politics, people believe that you are political. So in that sense, yes, film is political. Film is political because the COVID period itself was very political. The country was divided between two groups. One group which believed that India can do it, and our scientists will make the vaccine, and people were hopeful that they will make the vaccine. And there was another small but very powerful section of the society which wanted the scientists to fail in making the vaccine. They wanted India to import vaccines from outside, foreign vaccines. And also there was a section of people who thought that let's use this opportunity. Oh, COVID has come, wow, now people are going to die, there's going to be chaos and India cannot handle this situation and the government will fall. The best way to force the government to fall. When they couldn't succeed in that, then they said let the vaccine fail. When the vaccine did not fail, rollout was very good, second wave came, they said, this is the time, now let's put as many funeral pictures as possible, embarrass the government internationally and force them to resign. So there were people who were doing political. So if I have to make a film on vaccine, politics is going to be inherent.
So Vivek ji, one thing I'd like to ask you is this. You have always been very at the forefront of making political narrative kind of films. So my question to you is this. If while scripting a scene, you came across that choice you spoke about to make, where you have, let's say, a dialogue which is factually incorrect but furthers the narrative.
Whose narrative?
Your narrative, your particular point of view.
Okay.
Would you choose the fact or ignore the fact?
No, I mean, this question itself shouldn't come, because if you see all my films, in Buddha in a Traffic Jam, the strongest point of view was of Naxals. In the Tashkent File, the most powerful argument came from Pallavi's character, for which she got the national award. And she says that you are trying to whitewash everything. You know, you are trying, she uses the term dim lighting. She says all you are trying to do is dim light the whole thing. You don't know what is what. And in that confusion, people believe it. Shastri indeed died of a heart attack. So, right. And my films are inconclusive. It's not that I conclude them. Okay, it's not that I say this is right and that is wrong. In Kashmir Files, the most powerful arguments came from Pallavi. She talks about whether God exists or not. She says hope is God. She talks about the system and the government. She talks about all those kind of things. So, yes, a filmmaker cannot hide his own inclination. My inclination definitely is not towards people who generally are always talking negative things about the country and the society. I am not a great believer, and nobody has to teach me journalism. I am a student from IMC. I am inclined to spend my evening with people who are great critics of the country. But it doesn't mean that I think like that. I think that era of socialism where you only focus on the fault line is very wrong for everybody, not for the country, but for your own health also. You cannot focus only on fault lines. You also have to recognize our achievements, our greatness also at the same time. And I think the biggest greatness of this country is, I was in US recently, the totally collapsed, decayed society. We, despite all the fault lines, every single problem, we are happy, surviving, so someone should also try to probe why it's like that we are surviving.
So as much as the director and the script writer's techniques and some of the tools you devise are fantastic. For example, to cast Pallavi Joshi ji, whose politics I don't know, but
she has no politics. She's the
but
most...
maybe she is definitely not the character she played in Kashmir Files. Maybe the irony that the only song you had in that book was Hum Dekhenge, a song that may not be on your Spotify favorite list at the top 5 or anything like that. So, what do you see in these people that you like to have them again and again? Anupam Kher is somebody you like, Mithun Chakravarti, Pallavi Joshi, and now of course Nana Patekar. These are extraordinary artists. How do you see them? What are the differences?
See, the sad part of hyper consumerism is that everything becomes fleeting in this world. You know, you buy a shirt and you get bored in few days. You get bored of actors, you get bored of everything because so much of supply is there. Now, what happened of late since 2000 onwards, and we have started thinking any actor who's old is not viable. And some of the greatest of the talent of this country is sitting at home and not doing any work. I understood this. I understood my films are matured. My films have depth and layers. You may agree with the politics or not is another thing. But you cannot deny that subject like Shastri or subject like socialism versus capitalism in Buddha in a Traffic Jam or Kashmir or vaccine, they're multi-layered thing, and you to say those dialogues, you have to have some depth and personality also. So I indeed in my films, I need people who have seen the world, people who have maturity in their eyes. And when you go to when I was looking at all those actors who have maturity or depth and who are brilliant actors, except for Amitabh Bachchan, nobody was active.
True.
So I rediscovered Mithun Chakravarti, brought him on mainstream national films. Anupam Kher, I said, no, you have to lead this. You know, he said, am I going to be the hero? I said, why not? I mean, anybody can be a hero protagonist. In this film, we have got Nana Patekar. For after 5-6 years, he's coming back and acting. You know, when I went to meet him in his farmhouse, he was also surprised of why me. You know, so that's the problem. What we have started doing now is anybody who's over 40 or something like that, except for few stars, They can be 90 years old, but still we want to repeat them all the time. And it is because of their politics that these people are out today. It is because of their dirty politics these people are out. So since I am disrupting Bollywood and I am standing against Bollywood, not against outside of the Bollywood, so therefore I am trying to work with people who are very talented and also deliver what I want.
So this question that I asked comes actually from a common friend of ours, Ram Gopal Verma. He said, look, there are manuals taught to us, we believe in the 10 things no director should do. He said, here is Vivek who's done all the 10. Actors who are like looking like they're sitting in their drawing room talking politics. There is a file which is nothing but newspaper clips. There is a song. There is a speech by an actor who nobody knows. And it's the biggest hit of the year. So,
and there is no climax, and the climax is so pathetically painful
it's
that
just disbelief.
But that
disbelief.
happened in Tashkent Files also.
Tashkent File, yes, but Tashkent File was, I did well commercially, but
it
did
was
not.
The biggest hit of 2019.
It did not scare mainstream directors. Kashmir File
made me mainstream.
It made. I won't name any director and producer. I spoke to a few down south, and down south, these days. Movies are as big as Bollywood or bigger.
Bigger, actually.
They took note saying, if this kind of a movie is a commercial hit, what are we to learn from it? So, Kashmir Files, did you have an inkling it will be what it became? Commercially?
No. I see, everybody asks me this question because it's a very natural and normal question. But we don't look at things like that. If I had to look at it from focusing on commercial success, yes, we want the money back.
Yes.
We don't want, otherwise how will I make next film?
Yes.
But at the same time, if we had to do that, I would have made Kashmir Files Part 2, but we ended up making The Vaccine War. Again, if Kashmir Files broke 10 rules, then this film breaks 20 rules. This film is like most of the film, people are covered in masks and PPE, you can't even recognize who is who. They are not going anywhere, they are not moving anywhere, they are in those space suits. And again, there is no hero, heroine or anything of that sort, no families, no emotions, yet people cry in the film all the times. Vaccine War, people are crying more often than they cried in Kashmir Files.
I did some research, and after Ek Doctor Ki Maut, we have not made a single popular commercial context, a movie on a scientist or a doctor in India.
Yeah, I think so. Ek Doctor Ki Maut also was more character driven. It's about relationship.
It was not about science beyond.
Yeah, it's not about science. Ours is a pure science film.
It wasn't a pure science film, but it was at least.
I think Madhavan made rocketry, which was aeronautics,
yes,
in a way, rocket science. But ours is a more bioscience.
Harder science. You can't show anything. Rocket is.
Yeah,
there's
you
a
can
visual.
See. Yeah, here you don't see the villain, which is the virus. You don't see the hero, which is the vaccine. Both you are invisible. You can't see. So that's the problem.
So. Would you ever break from the Files, or is this the end of the Files trilogy?
No, Files trilogy was Tashkent Files, which is Right to Truth.
Yes.
See, it all started one day. I was looking at these 3 lions, अपने जो शेर है ना 3 अपने emblem में, जी हाँ. So I said, who are these? And why do we have 3 of them there? So somebody told me, no, there are 4. I said, I know, 4th is me. Okay, I am observing, but why these 3? So I said, what are the 3 fundamental pillars of our democracy? And I realized truth, justice, and life. So we said, let's make a trilogy on that. The idea started very small. So Right to Truth was Tashkent Files, Right to Justice was Kashmir Files, and Right to Life is now the Delhi Files, which is going to come next year. This film just happened because of the pressure of the Kashmir Files. Kashmir Files became so big, and we were researching on this subject, thinking we'll make it at some 4 years, 5 years later. But then I said, no, it's very important we make this film, because if we make bigger film after Kashmir Files, then we are going to, what's the difference between us and Bollywood? So just to to detox ourselves from Kashmir Files, we came here.
Yeah, you had, obviously, you could have done any movie after Kashmir Files.
Oh yeah, easily.
And therefore it was hard to say no.
Yeah.
I will do something which has, like you said, 10 and more people in mass.
Yeah, this film, you will find that we have broken every single rule in the textbook.
So there is this fight between a set of media people and you, and now we find another set of journalists are in a fight with another set of political parties. So What is your view on this boycott versus ban politics? Which is to say, I don't want to ban you, I don't want to hurt your movie, but I have a right not to watch Vivek Agnihotri's movies. I have the right to advocate peacefully, to tell people, look, I don't like Vivek's movies, don't go watch it. As much as I have a right to say, I love Vivek's movies, please watch it. Is that not a reasonably okay thing? Versus government saying, I'll ban your
See, if
movie.
they had boycotted some print journalists, I would have understood the point. Okay, but print journalism, still people are doing journalism, so therefore they can't do that. The problem is they are attacking wrong people. You know, the who they call journalists are actually anchors. They are not. Journalism is something else, and television performance-oriented news reporting is something else. So, and these people are just doing a job. They are doing a job. They are doing a job, and full or implementing the objectives of their company.
Since we're in Hyderabad, I have to ask you, a controversy that's brewing in Hyderabad currently is purely somebody giving you a kind of respectful salute, because they say flattery is the most, imitation is the best form of flattery. So a movie is being made called Razakar, very clearly inspired by your success.
Really? I don't know.
Your success, your approach to filmmaking, taking on a subject that's not something anybody would believe is, worthy of converting into a commercial movie, a popular movie, or a movie for people to watch. The confidence that these kind of subjects, without glamorous heroes, very hard.
So
hitting.
I know a lot of people
You
have
inspire-
asked me about Razakar thing.
But
Not
there's a
this
big
movie.
controversy now.
No, but the thing is, did Razakar movement happen or not?
It happened.
If it is part of the history, then film can be made on this. It's not that they are magicians and they are creating a pigeon out of a handkerchief.
That's a beauty. The controversy is not for a second yet about are the events depicted true or partially true or selectively half truths, etc. That controversy will happen when the movie is released. The topic now is almost like saying these movies, the way they are timed before elections, can lead to trouble. So such movies shouldn't be made. We should silence.
See, elections have become big industry now. They're huge industry. So everybody, you tell me, don't news channels create special programs for the election just to get TRPs? They're not doing it for the benefit of the consumer. Okay, the consumer products create products around them. Okay, so everybody is doing something around the election, not only in India and US also. So there is no harm if some people think that they can encash it. But I'll tell you what my point of view is. My point of view is the intention. You can make any film. Okay, you can make a film saying that helping others is the best thing. You can make a film on Mother Teresa. But if your intention is not correct, then that film has a problem. Kashmir Files, you have to understand, irrespective of what people say, that's political, but the intent was never ever to demonize Muslims. This is a narrative I have not spoken against. I just chose to keep quiet on that. But it was against terrorism. Okay, the first scene itself, the film begins with such a noble thought where a Hindu boy is being beaten up, a Muslim boy comes to help him just to show there was brotherhood between them. Okay, the film, a scene is being written by a Kashmiri Muslim boy in my film. The penultimate scene is written by him. You know, our intent was, it is a truth that the natives of that land do not live there. It's a truth. Okay, and it was also to shake up the governments to look at this, and things happened after the film. There was an impact. And also the third thing is, it's so sad, I feel bad about it, that whenever you say terrorism, more than the Muslims is the other people who get activated and say, terrorism, oh, the film is about Muslims. Why do they say that? I ask anybody who travels with me, I meet so many Muslims all the time, they are fans of that movie. You know what they tell me, Sriram? They tell me, sir, thanks for making this movie. Our family is a great fan because we hope that this film differentiates between Muslims and terrorists, but sadly we can't say anything in favor of the film because then our community is going to kill us.
Yeah, that's true. So talking of intention, what's the intention in making the movie on vaccines?
See, the thing is, same thing that I don't want 32 years later somebody making a film on vaccine, some young director discovers it and says, aha, oh, we saved humanity, oh, India gifted free vaccines to 101 countries, let me make a movie on this thing. But when he would make a movie, again, whole lot of section will come and say it's propaganda. I don't want this to happen, so I said this is the right time, make it right now or never. Second thing is, nobody, when we think about vaccine and these hardcore things, we think only about men. But this vaccine was made by 70% women.
Women scientists.
Okay. And the third thing is, when you say scientist, an image comes in your mind, and you say, this woman is empowered. But if I tell you, this woman is washing utensils, she's cleaning the house, she's looking after her husband, she's doing homework of her child, she's looking after her in-laws, then you say this woman is not empowered. Okay, so I wanted to break that Western style feminism versus Indic feminism. I wanted to celebrate Indic feminism through this film. Also, India did definitely an amazing job. That's why India was given red carpet at the White House. We were not given White House red carpet just like that. It's not a PR exercise. There's a meaning to it. The meaning is that India now has become a powerful force when it comes to pharma R&D or pharma medical research.
So the technique, the tools with you are so modern. But in a sense, I was trying to ask myself, who do you kind of are the next of in Bollywood? And I can only think of Manoj Kumar, the man who loved his country. His movies, the dialogue, the settings might have been so old and lost to us. But do you see yourself in some sense, in that sense, you love your country and then make movies?
See, first of all, I am not Bollywood.
I agree.
Absolutely non-Bollywood.
You are a filmmaker based in India.
Second thing is,
which happens to be in Hindi predominantly.
And second thing is, Manoj Kumar, obviously he made very patriotic films, and right from Nehruji to Indira Gandhi to all the prime ministers, Shastri, everybody loved him and everybody invited him. But then it's sad thing, if prime minister invites me, then it becomes a controversy. Nobody realizes that Nehruji used to say publicly that Shaheed is his favorite film. Indira Gandhi used to meet Manoj Kumar all the times but today making a film which supports the cause or the interest of your nation has become a curse on me. I can't even do that, but it's me, so I say it. Any other filmmaker would have surrendered and said, oh sorry, I will not make that mistake again. In this country, unfortunately, patriotism is understood as only soldiers fighting on the border. But I think you are also a soldier of this country.
Yeah.
You are also working, bringing truths. Everybody, the sweeper, everybody is contributing to nation building. So am I. But I am not making jingoistic films at all. I'm not making films where you take a flag and you say, Mera Bharat Mahan. I am picking up socio-political unsolved issues. Okay, issues where there are two very strong sides and general audience is confused which side is right, which side is wrong. So I am presenting both the points of view, where even my antagonist is convinced about what they are doing, and then let people decide what they want. So I make inconclusive films because these issues are not concluded.
Absolutely. Would you ever snap out of this one day and make a very, very different kind of a film?
I am doing that. I am making
some happy movie where we see people like Nana Patekar, Anupam Kher, Pallavi Joshi, normal setting without a war, without country ideology, simple things in life.
There are so many people to tell happy stories. I mean, I'll be part of the crowd. I mean, I will not be able to add anything to it, So there are so many people. I mean, there are Karan Johars and there are so many people who are making...
I didn't mean that kind of happy, realistically happy.
Realism is never happy.
Story of a...
No realism is happy.
Story of a director who's just trolled by everybody could be...
No, that's right. No, that's a story to others, not to me at all. But after this, I'm making an epic tale of Dharma. So after Delhi Files, I'm getting into a totally different territory.
Okay. Yeah. How long it will take for Delhi Files to be ready?
Delhi Files, we start shooting early next year, depending on what happens with this film, where it goes. Early next year we are shooting. I plan to release it by the end of next year.
We wish you the very best for this film. What are your expectations
from
Vaccine, the movie? How do you expect India to react to it?
See, I don't know about box office and all, but one thing I can tell you, Indian women are going to be very happy. they are going to be extremely happy.
They-
And if you show it to your mother, she will be very happy for you. She'll thank you. And if you buy a ticket for your maid servant and her daughter, I promise you they will be very, very happy.
I promise to do that. I'll
Do that.
take my cook and all the people who work for us along with their daughters.
Yeah, because the reason is when we talk about women empowerment, we only think about women around us. We never think of the maid who's very, very empowered. She's really empowered. And imagine a scenario. See, the intent of making this film is imagine a scenario if these children of maid servants living in slums, imagine most of them decide to pursue biosciences. Bioscience and artificial intelligence are the two fastest growing mega industries. These are the two which are going to rule the world now, not the gun lobby anymore. So imagine if all these girls from bottoms up, they come and there's a groundswell of these young women scientists with great resilience, multitasking, the quality of Indian style sacrifice. Imagine what will happen to India. You know, what happened during IT revolution? Same thing now. World is, I hope, is
tenfold
going through
now.
biotechnology revolution. India will find its place under that.
And that's a great thought to conclude this on. Thank you, Vivek, and
Thanks,
best
Sriram.
of luck for this.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Deccan Chronicle Digital and support us. Thank you.